A tender 3-layer cake with bright contrasts starts with a classic foundation. We place 2 glass bowls in front of us. We carefully crack the first egg and separate the white from the yolk. The yolk goes into a separate bowl. We separate the second, third, and fourth eggs exactly the same way. Whites in one container, yolks in another. It's important to work carefully so that not a drop of yolk gets into the whites. To the whites, we add a pinch of salt. It will help them hold their shape better. We turn on the mixer and start whipping at medium speed. Within just a minute, the whites transform into a light, airy foam. Now, we gradually add the sugar in a thin stream, not stopping the mixer. This way, the mixture will be especially stable and glossy. We pour in the melted butter and carefully mix at the lowest speed. Look how the white mixture becomes tender and uniform. Exactly this kind of base will give our cake airiness and height. Time to add milk. We pour the needed amount into a measuring cup. We pour it directly into the white mixture and immediately reach for the mixer. Now, the most important part. We whip carefully at medium speed. The milk should completely combine with the whites, but we don't want to destroy that airy structure we've already created. See how the mixture becomes more fluid but maintains its lightness? This exact consistency is the key to making the cake incredibly tender. We continue whipping until completely uniform. There shouldn't be any lumps or streaks of milk. The next ingredient is sunflower oil. We measure 25 milliliters and carefully pour it into our yolk mixture. We thoroughly mix with the mixer at medium speed. The oil should completely dissolve in the batter, creating a silky texture without the slightest droplets on the surface. We work the mixer methodically, gradually increasing speed. This way, the oil will distribute evenly throughout the mixture. Look how the batter becomes more elastic and takes on a beautiful glossy shine. This is a sign that the base for our cake is ready to accept flour and transform into perfect batter. We take a sieve and measure 110 grams of all-purpose flour. We pour it into the sieve, then add a tablespoon of baking powder. We carefully sift everything into the bowl with the white mixture. Sifting makes the batter incredibly tender, removes all lumps, and fills the flour with air. Look how easily and evenly it distributes across the surface. We take a whisk and start very gently mixing from bottom to top. The main thing is not to rush and not destroy the airy structure of the whites. The movement should be smooth, as if we're folding precious fabric. Just a minute of this delicate mixing, and we get amazingly light, almost weightless batter that will become the foundation for our layered cake. We move on to the second important part, the yolk base. We pour 4 bright yolks into a clean bowl. We add vanilla sugar. It will emphasize the aroma of the future cake. And now we add regular sugar, which will make the yolk mixture sweet and tender. The yolks transform into a luxurious, creamy mixture right before our eyes. The mixer works confidently, and within just a couple of minutes, the mixture noticeably lightens and thickens. We lift the attachments. We pour in warm melted butter in a thin stream. We turn on the mixer again, and here real magic happens. The butter doesn't just mix, but creates an amazingly uniform, almost satin-like texture with the yolks. This base will become the heart of our cake, giving it that very tenderness and moistness that everyone loves about homemade baking. Add Add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil to the egg yolks. Take a mixer and blend everything well. Next, pour in 46 milliliters of milk. Mix thoroughly with the mixer. Watch how smooth and silky the yolk mixture becomes. Every ingredient is finding its place in the batter. It is exactly this consistency that will give our cake that melt-in-your-mouth softness. We put away the mixer and move on to dry ingredients. We pour flour into a sieve, 90 grams of wheat flour. Next, we add baking powder, a full tablespoon. Now we carefully sift everything into the bowl, lightly shaking the sieve. See how airily the dry ingredients settle? We take a whisk and gently mix, without overdoing it, so the batter stays tender. We also carefully mix the yolk mixture with a whisk until uniform. We grate lemon zest on a fine grater directly into the bowl. This way, all the aromatic oils are preserved. We continue working with the whisk, evenly distributing the bright yellow bits throughout the mixture. For the chocolate layer, we take a separate bowl. We measure 3 spoons of yellow batter, the base of future contrast. We add 4 spoons of white batter, creating a light base for cocoa. We add cocoa powder. 2 tablespoons will give a rich chocolate color. We pour in milk, which will help the cocoa distribute evenly through the mixture. Now with a whisk, we thoroughly combine all components. Look how before our eyes the light mixture transforms into uniform chocolate batter, without a single dry lump of cocoa, smooth and aromatic. We place the prepared pan on a convenient surface. We pour the chocolate batter, first the main part, then carefully collect the remains with a spatula. We spread it evenly across the entire surface. This is the base of our cake. We pour the light batter directly over the chocolate layer. The contrast is stunning. We pour carefully, trying not to disturb the bottom layer. Now, we take a spatula and gently level the light mixture across the entire pan. The movements should be smooth, so the layers don't mix together. The next stage is sprinkling cocoa powder through a sieve. This will create a thin chocolate layer and beautiful color contrast. We distribute evenly across the entire surface. Next comes the bright lemon layer. We carefully pour all the yellow mixture directly into the center of the pan. The batter will start to spread on its own, covering the chocolate base. With a spatula, we gently level the surface, preserving the layer boundaries. We generously sprinkle with almond flakes. They'll give a crispy crust. We put it in an oven preheated to 350 degrees for 45 minutes. The cake is ready. We place the pan on a board and carefully remove our creation along with the parchment. We carefully fold back the paper from the sides. See what a beautiful golden crust we got. We remove the cake from the board by the parchment edges. We move it to a beautiful serving plate. The final touch? A gentle cloud of confectioner's sugar through a fine sieve. Each grain settles in an even layer, creating an elegant snow-white coating. Our 3-layer cake is ready. Look how airy and appetizing it turned out. The golden crust, dotted with almond flakes, contrasts with the whiteness of the sugar. The cake has cooled, and it's time to see the result of our efforts. We take a sharp knife and carefully cut the first slice. We separate the second piece just as gently. It's important to preserve the shape of the layers. We help the third slice slightly with our hands so it lies beautifully on the plate. Look at this magnificent cross-section. 3 contrasting layers created a real picture in the slice. The white batter smoothly transitions to golden lemon, and dark chocolate streaks add special sophistication and depth of flavor to the cake. Look at these appetizing layers. Each piece is like a work of art. Let's carefully test our baking for softness. The tender texture leaves no doubt. The cake turned out perfectly airy. We separate a small piece and lift it on a fork. The combination of lemon freshness with rich chocolate flavor creates a truly harmonious dessert. The 3-layer cake is ready to delight both the eye and the taste.